I hope you marked your calendars. It's July 31st, a date that has been recognized by the state as a special day of observance. Laho'iho'i'ea, which signifies the restoration of the Hawaiian sovereignty, gave a chance for Native Hawaiians to learn and teach about their history, their identity, and share their culture. Thomas Square under the sun provided a beautiful backdrop to the celebration of Laho'iho'i'ea, including hula halau and lay offerings.
We're extremely happy, we're extremely excited to be celebrating not just here, but in Waianae and Waimanalo, in Pauʻila, and all throughout ko Hawaii Pae'aina.
According to the Hawaii State Archives, in 1843, Captain George Paulet, without permission from the British government, seized control of the Hawaiian Islands due to a misunderstanding. Kamehameha III was restored to the throne on July 31st of 1843 through the actions of Admiral Richard Thomas.
King Kamehameha III ensured that he was kupa'a, that he was firm in his understanding of what was pono, and that's why we have days like this. Because of him in 1843, where they're saying, "Wa mau ke ea o ka aina I ka pono," that yes, the life of our land was returned because it was the pono thing to do.
It's a lesson that many keiki attendants can take with them.
So in today's time, we have to ask ourselves, what is pono? And how do we ensure that we teach our keiki what is pono, that we educate them so that way when they become adults, they choose what is pono.
Even though it might not seem so special to other people, to us it's very special.
And to look back at the past as a guide of what's to come.
Our history is a part of our identity, and our identity is critical for us to reclaim and to understand, so that we have a firmer foundation from which to really drive, into the future.
Our Kamakapili went to the Hawaii State Archives to learn more about Laho'iho'i'ea and its origins. To see and read his fantastic piece, you can scan this QR code on your screen with your phone's camera, or you can head over to our website, that is khon2.com.
I just used a few seconds of this video, well, maybe a minute of this video. Obviously, his video is about 15-16 minutes long. Please go over to his channel. He's called, oops, I haven't put it down low enough, let's have a look. He's called Useful Charts. When I went to bed, I was looking at some pictures, which we're going to talk about in a little bit as well, because it's, oh my god. And then really what it comes to is, he's going to talk about these as high chiefs, but they're plantation owners. So the same thing that was going on in America is going on here. These are plantation owners, and then comes these royals. But let's play the little clip.
Of course, the Hawaiian Islands, although located in Polynesia, are now part of the United States, and together they comprise the state of Hawaii. However, prior to European arrival, the Hawaiian Islands were not a unified entity. Each island had its own high chief, who ruled over several lesser chiefs on that island. The titles were hereditary and could be passed down to both males and females.
So, we're going to look at some pictures after he's finished talking, but the person that I was concentrating on was him more. He was the one that came up. These were a king and she was a queen, the only queen of Hawaii, but she was the last royal member. And it showed a picture of him, and I thought, oh, I know it. Freemason. This one here was a Freemason. I'll show you the picture later on that says that he is. So here's a Freemason. So plantation owners into this. It's called the Kingdom of Hawaii. United Kingdom. Kingdom of Hawaii, and this is why we get that news thing with the Union Jack on their flag. Nothing probably has changed. We probably still own that, like we own America, like we own the Queen. Not me personally, but the Queen, the monarchy, the Roman Empire, that Union Jack, it owns everything.
In this video, I'll be talking about some of the high chiefs of the Big Island of Hawaii. They are shown on the top of the chart here. Then I'll be talking about the monarchs who reigned after all of the islands were unified into a single kingdom.
So, here's a bit of information if you want to believe their information. Yeah, it seems that something happened in the late 1700s. There you go, there's the date there. So, the country was formed in 1795. Here goes a good indication. Oh, didn't we have independence from America and all that? Well, no, it's a corporation to the United Kingdom, but wasn't that the 1777? So there you go, same kind of day. And look, and this is the flag that they were using in the TV, you know, in the news. Anyway, let's carry on. I'm a bit shocked at the end of it. I think I might put that picture at the front. But anyway, talking there, a little bit of information. Talks about who was there on the dates, the monarch, and so forth like that. Yeah. I hadn't really taken much notice of the past of Hawaii before. It just was there suddenly with this little news thing. I thought, there's the Union Jack in a flag again. So that's what interested me. So please, it's too much to read. But it explains about who he is, how he got there, rah, rah, rah. But again, it was backwards and forwards in the family, who could be there. And in the end, he got put in and his sister got put in there. He was married. I took a long time to find this information. It's in the video. Might just add that bit here. So, they both died of measles. So they say. Because their deaths are at the same time. Anyway, saw that picture and I thought, oh my goodness. I know what that reminds me of. I mean, these boots it's that League of Gentlemen sort of, I don't know, like, didn't the Tzar, I thought of the Tzar of Russia, to be honest. That's what I saw when I saw that picture. It just reminded me of the Tzar of Russia. Don't forget, they were the Kingdom of Hawaii. Yeah, and I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, oh, I know who he looks like, so we'll take a look in a minute. But we're just going through some photographs of him. So here's the last king and his sister. The only queen of Hawaii was the last queen, and that ended in the 1890s, I think. So yeah, and what it was is I think he'd gone to America, and while he was there he got measles, and so did his wife, and died. But that's not true, and they have to get rid of people. We're going to see who he looks like. It's disgusting. But anyway, I think that's his wife. I actually can't find the bit about measles. It must be in another video. But it took me quite a bit to find that out, because it obviously just, they both died at the same time. Him and his wife. This guy's just explaining that there are no real descendants left anymore, and then comes down here from someone further up, and then he would then be the king, or could be, and this person here was a plantation owner. I could play it, but it's not my video. And also now you realise when I show you later on the pictures that none of this is real. Yeah, and please at any time just stop and have a look at this information. Look at all that on his chest, wow. But that royal family, and who else is like that? The Queen. And these people are dark skinned. This leads back to how our world was. I reckon there was a lot more dark skinned kings and queens, and they've changed it all and pretended they were all white when they weren't. Even that picture, I wonder if anybody else can see it. It's coming. Obviously I've got pictures in a minute to show you. I think that's his brother, that one. Anyway, we've got that there that's happening. 1879. I think what it is that in the end it was this royal family, and then they kind of got ousted, and then America took. And look, that picture there, 1863. They're both slaves. The colour of your skin has nothing to do with it. There you go. He was a 33 Mason. I think somewhere in here. Well, we might have gone over it. Sorry. Shows it might be coming up. I can't remember now. But there you go. He's a Mason. So he's one of them then. A Mason. Yeah, you know, there's information about him, but I wouldn't say there's masses. You know, like it's all new to me. Yeah, but in here it will say that he died, and yeah, just information to give you. It's too much to even talk about. Oh, is that it? There it goes. That's the bit I want. In 1881. Went on a tour of the world to visit the heads of the state which he was royally received. He was a 33rd degree Mason member and Knights Templar who built the grand replacement of that palace, Iolani Palace. He was a Knight Templar as well. So he was a Masonic and a Knight Templar. Wow, look at that. Let me just zoom in to make sure that you can see it, 'cause sometimes the writing gets so small when you're on YouTube that, you know, and then it gets smaller again and then you don't see it. So let's go up to make sure that you do see it. There we go. Masonic member and Knight Templar. Yes, very interesting indeed. So we know what it's about, don't we? Yes. And that's his brother, see? Yeah, that's his brother. They look grand, but they don't, if you know what I mean. Does it? Their costumes look new. They look quite depravelled in a way. Yeah, there you go. 1905, 2007. So many ads on these things. It really annoys me, all the ads. And that's the last queen. She wasn't there that long, I don't think. Because basically Hawaii became part of America. But they've got dark skin. And I just think that we were ruled by dark-skinned people and then we weren't. And they don't want that in place, and then they've turned it into racism and all that, when it's not. The only people that cause that is them. So maybe we hate each other. Everybody's got a problem with everybody, and it's been made for you. We should just love each other. Anyway, we're getting to the bit I want to see now, because this is obviously information. Please stop and read it. There he is. Look at him. Do you know who he reminds you of? We're getting there. There it is, about the Mason and Templar. There you go. The Tzar of Russia. And wait for it. There he is. There you go. That's them together. Right. So, just take their hair off. So obviously that picture can't go up anymore. Do you see how alike these people are? Do you see it without the hair? Because they've got different hair. But do you see how alike they are? Look at that. That is the same person. They've just changed their colour. Look at that. It's the same person. Look at this. Right, let's stop that. Let's zoom in so that we can have a look ourselves. Let's get that across. Ooh, that's a bit too big now, isn't it? I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So if we get rid of the hair, do you see how alike they are? They've got the same eyebrows, the same eyes, the same lips, same chin. The moustaches are almost the same, and the noses are practically the same. Do you see that? So this, supposedly, he died in 1890s, and obviously the Tsar went on a bit longer, but they obviously had to get rid of him so that to change the story. So corporation to the UK, and America takes over Hawaii, but it's not really America, is it? It's England through America. So the same thing is still going on, but they are just, sorry about that, someone's messaging me. It's the same It's the same thing as now. They were doing it to the people then. How could anybody not notice that the King of Hawaii looked just like the Tzar of Russia? Look at the lips. Look at the eyebrows, the eyes. It was in the eyes. I knew, I could see it. The only person I was looking for when I saw that picture of the King of Hawaii was the Tzar of Russia, and they are the same person with different hair and different colours. Wow. So what is it? All made up? It's got to be. The whole thing is made up, and it goes back to the late 1700s, guys, I reckon. Now, for this part, I think the War of the Roses has something to do with it, but Christian thinks it's Victoria. And then, of course, Victoria would be in the next 20, 30 years. It's all set up for her. Well, no, she was in the 1800s, wasn't she? And this guy had died by 18... There you go. This was all in Victoria's reign. Yeah, that's when Sven thinks we started. I think it's more of the War of the Roses. We came out of that. They inhabited this place, but because some of the buildings, you know, but and stuff like that. But Sven thinks it's Victoria, and this would have all happened in the Victoria time. Isn't that incredible? I'm sorry, this is disgusting. Come on. If everybody can see that. Imagine that news programme. They are respectful, the whole thing. They're very enamored with their history, and look what they're supporting. It's not real. None of it's real. Oh my God. Please. I just want this nightmare to stop. This is just ridiculous. I want the nightmare to stop.